Upside down magic, living the DCOM
Hmm.
lifestyle. Bullet to my brain.
Oh my.
Hey guys, it's a whole new pod at the podcast all about
Disney
Ricky
Channel.
Martin.
Oh.
And I am Ricky Martin's number one fan, except actually I think he maybe got canceled or something. Ricky Martin's number 3 fan, then Lucas Melby.
And I'm Ricky Martin's 4th fan, Jacob Telejohn.
Good bit. And if you haven't been canceled, Ricky Martin, I apologize, but I've realized he wrote She Bangs.
She Bangs.
Yeah, that's another one of his songs. And
Is he dead? Is he still alive?
yeah, he's alive.
Ricky Martin.
They don't cancel dead people.
I mean, that was like 50s, 60s, wasn't he? Wasn't he?
What?
Ricky
You
Martin.
think Livin' La Vida Loca was from the 50s or 60s?
I don't know. Ricky Martin just sounds like doesn't it just kind of sound like a Buddy Holly name? Ricky
No,
Martin.
'cause
Buddy Holly.
Buddy,
the big
a Buddy
bopper.
Holly name would be Buddy Holly. Do you just mean that it's a name that somebody has a first name and a last name?
That just sounds like a 60s name. 60s vibe to it.
Yeah, all those kids running around
Ricky.
with Doris and Blanche. Ricky. Yeah, okay, whatever.
My father, Ricky, father of the 50s, child of the 50s.
I'm just
In
going to
his
see how long
60s.
he goes here.
Of just riffing.
Sure.
Thank you.
As I said, I don't even know, man. All right, Upside Down Magic. That's what we're covering today on this podcast, where we're going through every Disney Channel original movie in chronological order, approaching the end of all
The end is near.
This one came out in the magical year of 2020, also along with Zombies 2. Zombies 2 came out in February, though, so this came out once the pandemic
After pandemic.
had been,
Isn't that weird?
kicked off. And I think there's some other movie that was magic related that released just on Disney Plus that had like Adam Devine in it or something.
Oh, I like him.
But this is not that movie.
Dang.
Something else that Jacob does like, though,
Yes.
is a magical movie.
I love me a magical movie. And this movie had a lot of magic.
It did have a lot of
And a lot of unmagic, upside down magic.
Oh, what some stuck up old busybodies might label upside down magic.
Yes.
But we'll just get right into it. As kind of is the state of course for all of our summer recordings. It's probably going to be a hot day in here. I don't know if this is another time where it's been hot across the whole country, but in Minnesota, we still got hot summers. We had a few days in a row of like real feel of like 110.
120, I think it got up to on
I don't think it got up
Tuesday.
to 120.
It was not ideal.
I think that's made up.
It was hot.
Very hot. Today, only like real feel of like 95 or 99 or something.
It's fine.
But, we're not going to, we'll do this movie justice.
Well, yeah.
We'll
yeah.
say-
And I think it deserves that. I think it was an all right film.
All right. I mean,
Movie.
We don't need to just jump to the final
Sorry.
judgment.
No.
So we open with a classic DCOM trope that I can't say if we've gotten it recently or not, but our main character, Nori, narrating the opening.
Yeah.
This is the only part, really, I think, where she narrates until the very end, and we're getting a panning shot over her neighborhood as she's talking about...
Different kind of cliques of kids, I guess, like kids that play music, kids that,
Well, the idea is that everybody's got a talent of their own.
Yeah.
That could be you're good at sports, you're good at art. Well, I don't know if these people are good at music, because they're bad.
That was pretty bad.
But they
Dubstep.
enjoy music.
Yes.
But what was her talent? Well, the first talent of hers is that her mom was dead.
Yeah. The good old classic Disney trope of a deceased parent or a divorced parent.
We'll find out that her mom, I guess, was magical. It's okay that we don't really get in deep about how magic is passed down or how it really works.
Or even if it's just like an accepted thing in this world, if they really need to hide it. We don't know.
She's about...
She's really young, maybe
I guess
10?
maybe... Probably even younger than 10.
8 maybe. She's standing in a window looking out at a kitten that's by a tree. And we kind of see like a shadow. We see that she grows whiskers from her face.
I didn't like that.
It
creeped me out.
Yeah, and then it's kind of like like we see like a shadow on the wall, kind of transforming into like a kitten with dragon wings, I guess. So,
and then we get a beat drop with a song that is called Upside Down, and the upside down magic.
That wasn't a bad song. We hear that a few times throughout the movie.
I think you maybe just think you heard it more because I kept just randomly going upside down.
It was at least in there a couple times.
It was very short-lived at the beginning of this movie.
And then we get some home footage, like, right after this.
Very magical.
And this is I was kind of like, is the whole movie going to be this home video shot stuff?
Yeah, 6 years later, and by Jacob saying home footage, it makes it sound very different than it is. It's her pointing. We're seeing, the screen view of her taking like a selfie video.
It's not like Shia LaBeouf in that movie where they're recording all the time.
And obvious comparison to this, just because of its setting that we eventually get into, is the Descendants movies. But this will be a school where they have smartphones. So I think they say like something about them not working at Sage Academy, which is the school should be going to. But hey, it was something that Harry Potter movies kind of had to deal with, and obviously this is going to be very inspired by Harry Potter.
Yeah.
It's based on a series of books that started coming out in 2015, which seems like very late in the game to have some kind of magical school thing, but I think it's kind of just, hey, the themes are applicable to kids of all ages.
Yeah, I mean, it did have it had many different aspects to the movie that felt, Harry Potter-esque, from the divisions of how they split people up. I know, just a whole bunch of stuff we'll get into, obviously, but yeah, very Harry Potter inspired.
So in this vlog, if you will, she's talking to her friend Raina, who we learn she's
there.
Yeah.
In the bedroom, yes.
Oh, yeah, fair. I guess she could have been talking to her in the video to send her later.
Face camming, I don't know. FaceTiming.
What you were trying to
–
correct me on or whatever.
I just wanted to just clarify.
But she has the power of fire. Kind of very interesting, the divisions that the powers take in this.
Yeah.
And she is very good and controlled with her powers, but Nori can transform into animals, and I can't remember Jacob.
Multiple animals.
Yeah, Jacob pointed out that in the shadow we saw her transform into
a kitten and a dragon.
And it had wings.
A dragon. I don't know what they come up with names for the dual things she can morph into.
And Raina, she's so good, she can do my favorite. What's my favorite? It's called Sparkle Fireball.
Fireball.
Everybody loves the Sparkle Fireball.
Everyone loves it.
Especially Nori.
It's her favorite. Because all of them are her favorite, but it's her favorite. So. And
honestly, the effects in this movie get better as it goes along, but actually at the start here is, I don't know.
You weren't feeling it as much.
The best.
No, but yeah, I mean, overall, I would say this is probably one of the better, maybe best special effects DCOM
you say
so
that
far.
like you've said that like the last two or three
because
movies.
Those were the best.
You're like, I believe those were wearables.
Now these are
yes,
better
as we progressed in time, especially when this movie came out 3 years ago, and you're like, this is the best yet. It's not really that impressive or special to talk about.
But it's true.
This movie, I got a lot of questions about how magic and stuff works here. As well as just so Sage Academy is the school they're going to.
Yes.
We'll find out that they are unhappy with some of the students they get because of how their powers develop. But then it's like, what is the selection process to even go to Sage Academy? Is it like in Harry Potter where if you have magic, you just automatically get invited to the school? Is magic hereditary? Is magic a secret? Because Sage Academy, they go to what looks like a bus stop, but then it's actually like a trailhead, and then they get let off on the trail to a hidden place. Who knows? I think some of it, could be fleshed out more in the book, but some of it just it's like Harry Potter, and you just fill in the details.
Yeah,
probably what you think happens in Harry Potter.
Yeah, they like I said, they never clarify if it's like everybody just knows magic exists.
So all the students are gathered at this stop with their parents, and they are collected by groundskeeper Bud Scriff, who at this point in the movie, and for probably at least half of it, is quite annoying.
Yeah, he just comes off as he's just kind of he is annoyed. Like, not just his character, but he's just annoyed in the role that he has.
Yeah.
Kind of like a groundskeeper.
Which can be funny.
Yeah.
An annoyed character, but no, he's annoyed and annoying with how he is annoyed.
Yes.
Also, avoid the noid. So he shoos the parents away and then leads the kids to a special like forest portal, like a twisted set of trees that create a circle. And as they pass through it, there's a basic kind of shimmery water effect that Jacob is like, oh my god, this is like Avatar Way of Water.
James Cameron, watch out.
And then they enter into Sage Academy that looks just mostly like a country club.
Yeah, there's kids flying around.
And there's even an aerial shot that maybe is too spread out because it's like, oh, that just looks like a gravel like parking lot up there. That's not very special.
It's a big campus, though, I'll tell you that.
I should have mentioned, I guess he seemed like he was going to be more important than he was. But while they were walking there in the woods, Nori and Raina are talking, and she sees, this kind of cute, mysterious boy who's a little emo. We'll find out his name is Andreas. And he kind of just gives Nori the cold shoulder. And Nori, also pretty annoying. I found a lot of like...
Yeah, she was... But that was the kind of her character, though, too. Like, she was supposed to be annoying. Cause, I mean, like...
just like Scriff.
Yeah, so because Scriff gets annoyed by her because
they're definitely written in the style. Some people call it like Whedon-esque, the very self-aware or commenting of like Marvel movies. You know, the sort of, well, that just happened. And she's like, oh, I'm talking. I'm trying to hit on the boy. Oh, nope, he didn't like me. That just happened kind of thing. And it does get toned down later on.
I don't think it's bad acting that she's annoying. It's.
I found a lot of the acting, I don't know if this is meaningful to a Disney Channel original movie audience, but kind of gave me some Nickelodeon vibes with the acting, the writing, as well as some of the humor.
The phrases, yeah. The farts, there's multiple fart jokes.
Mostly just one. Maybe two.
Raina,
I also found, her actress, I don't know. I guess maybe she gets better when she, spoiler alert, becomes evil later on. Oh, shit. But she's kind of shaky throughout. They go through the tree portal. They're immediately, like, brought into, like, their path is weird. It's like, oh, here's the dormitories, but first you gotta take your advanced placement tests.
Yeah, they walk by these flags that kind of show there's different divisions, you know, kind of with Gryffindor and Slytherin and all that stuff. You have them written down, I know, but there's several different houses. I don't know if you want to read them off.
No, I thought you would know.
Flares.
No. So this is being told to them by Headmaster Linda Knight Slinger.
Who has, like, some Professor Umbridge, who is kind of a bitch in Harry Potter. She's just kind of a mean kind of headmaster. And that's just kind of the vibes I got from her. She wasn't nice. She's never redeemed in the movie ever either.
I think she's like a Mrs. Darbus. You know, you kind of grow to like her by the end.
Oh, I don't. I didn't.
Don't call her Linda, though, especially not in front of the students. So the groups are fuzzies, who are able to speak to animals. Flickers, who can telekinetically move stuff.
Yeah.
Flyers, I don't know what they do.
They just go up, they ascend into the air slowly.
Flares, who are the fire people. It's weird that it's just like only fire, not like water or anything.
It should have been different elements, but maybe they're like for special effects, they could only do fire well.
And then Fluxors, who can turn into animals. So weird spread of powers. Talking to animals, which is distinct from turning into animals.
I was going to say, kind of all just worthless powers.
Yeah, so I'll save my tirade for that just a little bit. So they're taking these tests. Raina does well, but then we start to get introduced to some other fuck-ups. Most notably for me is Elliot Cohen.
Elliot's cool.
Who is wanting to be placed in the Flares honors program, but all he can do is produce smoke.
And it comes out of various parts of his body. I know there's one part where it comes out of his armpit.
Yeah, that was the only time it really seemed to emanate from a specific part of his body other than, like, his hands.
Hands, yeah.
And he reminded me of a small Hurley from Lost.
Okay.
He's got huge curly set of hair.
Yeah.
Also wears Hawaiian t-shirts. He was in some role on the Disney Channel show Bizaardvark.
And you said he was known for the Oscars, so congratulations.
Yeah, he apparently was in the 2017 or 2018 Oscars, and he is, I like him, but it's because he is quite bad. And also,
He just serves as the comedic relief for the movie.
Well, there's a few comedic relief people, and I don't know if we need all of them.
No.
We check in with Andres here as well, and he is a flyer who walks around with a bag full of bricks on his back because he can't get down.
No, he can't control the height. He believes that if he doesn't have this bag of bricks or something that's holding him down, that he will fly into space and his eyes will explode from his head. I guess that's kind of the fear his mother has put into him.
It's a legitimate fear.
Yeah,
it's like
that
when you
sounds
lose control
awful.
of a balloon, it just floats away and I presume into outer space.
Sad.
That's what happens.
Wow.
Pepper is a flicker.
Pepper Potts
can't control really how much she's flicking or flinging around, so she's throwing around a bunch of papers and knocking the teachers back. And then I think I said Raina, she does fine. And then Nori goes, and she's supposed to turn into a picture, base her transformation on a picture of a kitten.
Of a kitten, yes.
And maintain the transformation for 6 seconds.
I mean, I would have thought, 6 years later after failing to transform into this kitten, she maybe would have had a better grasp on it. But they have to turn into whatever this kitten looks like and hold it for 5 seconds. So everybody else is doing it, and she just fails, like, immediately. It's not even like a second. It's just like, oh, she's already transforming into, like,
It's usually just a kitten with I think this one gets wings. And
like a shark? Was it a shark? The shark one?
I can't remember what the third one was. I don't think it was a shark.
I don't know. Just some weird looking things. Abominations.
And then we see who makes it into what houses. The whole, like, contention about, like, the honors program versus the base program is kind of weird. Because the main reveal is that Nori is placed into what is called UDM. Well, what could that mean?
Upside down magic.
Upside down magic.
So I didn't really understand why there were honors. I mean, I get why there's honors, but I don't know why there are honors. Like, each honors has like 5 or 6.
It's the way to contrive a test on their first day to then separate out the kids who are bad.
Yeah, and I think I mean, there's like a normal flares, and then there's like an honors flares, right?
Yes.
So, and I think the kids from the honors flares was one of them that would get to represent their house.
Well, we never even see any of, like, what the normal classes look like.
And we see what one of the classrooms look like.
Well, yeah, but that presumably is the honors class.
Yeah, true.
So, to keep the lost references going, the UDMs, there's a trail leading out into the forest where there is a hatch in the ground, and down there...
Yeah, it looks like a Doomsday Preppers kind of,
And I even thought
hatch.
they get, like, handed out uniforms, and I'm like, are they just going to be Dharma Initiative jumpsuits? But they also apparently don't have uniforms, so... This is where it's revealed that UDM stands for Upside Down Magic. In this room is Pepper, Elliot, and Andreas, and their teacher, or maybe more just their guardian, or watcher over, is Scriff.
Yeah, I like I said, like, he gives off this kind of asshole kind of, vibe in the beginning, but in the end,
later on, he just turns into more of a youth pastor mode, which is just annoying in a different way. They get checked in on by the headmaster to let them know that, like, hey, fuck you, magic is wrong, and we're keeping you here because upside down magic users, if they don't use their magic regularly,
they lose it. If you don't use it, you lose it.
So that means they aren't going to be studying magic, even though it's like, oh, what was the premise of this magic school? You should show up here and just be good with magic. Well, no, you should just have the right magic, and if you don't, you will study essentially what in the Harry Potter books would be called Muggle studies. So
yes.
Math, science, that sort of thing.
Muggies.
And it says that means you'll have to get a boring job like being an accountant or something. And we will check in on the Flares classroom where we see that they have to control their fire to heat up popcorn. But my question is, what is the application of really just about any of these powers? Besides flying, though we also learned that flying, they're usually very slow when they fly, but what does it matter that you can turn into an animal and hold it for 6 seconds? What is that going to do for you?
You said, like, because the UDM, they get, like you said, they get really upset about being either a dog groomer or an accountant and all this stuff. But yeah, like you said, like what are these? Just like in Harry Potter, what are people with magic? Like what do they do with it?
Well, there's absolutely zero world building, so we don't know how widespread magic is. We don't know what occupations
What would you do with it? Like,
what does a fire user do? Like cook or flame bad guys?
Yeah, like the powers are basically
what does
worthless.
a person who talk to animals do?
Like that one might
How many
actually.
positions can there be for people who talk to animals, though?
And that's true, exactly. Like, how many could there be? I mean, yeah, there could be like some animal therapists or whatever, kind of like how, I don't know, there's somebody that talks to.
Well, yeah, but like
you don't need hundreds. Yes, you don't need thousands of people that can be animal therapists. Yeah, I don't know, but it's
what I'm saying is it's stupid.
We're not challenged these questions either. We're just being critical.
Well, I'm challenging the premise of these movies.
We are not being challenged. The movie is not challenging us. The movie is not, asking us to think.
Yeah, it's
why
not
do they
asking
have
me to
these?
meet them out behind the school, after, at noon or whatever.
Oh.
And this is further illustrated why are they so concerned about UDM's magic being wrong? And it's because of some guy named Reginald, I don't know, something or other.
Roberts, Redden, whatever.
Who was a flare, but his fire only came out of his asshole.
It is true.
They show, and it's actually like a storybook that she's showing them.
But it's like done in
it's like a claymation style. I'm like, oh, that's cool. But then it's like immediate fart joke. It's like, hey, fuck you, Lucas. You like something in this movie.
Oh.
And that was another part. I'm like, well, this doesn't really feel like Disney Channel, really. To see like a spouting flame of fire coming out of this boy's ass. Full spread cheeks and everything. Represented in, Henry Selick style. But then it's like, oh, because of his upside down magic, he eventually was prone to using shadow magic. And there was this big shadow magic person, and we had to put them all down. Yeah. And that's why we can never allow upside down magic users.
So yes, they have this idea that it can only be upside down magic kind of people that can be possessed by shadow magic. So that's why they're segregating them away from the normal students.
Mm-hmm. Checking in with the real magic users, Raina is in the advanced flare class.
Which we love the design of this room. It's a spiraling...
It's just a spiraling ramp of concrete.
That goes to nowhere.
That occasionally has little cushions
and desks.
Small desks for people to sit in. And they kept spinning the camera around
for probably 2 minutes.
And it was making me kind of dizzy.
Her class, I think there was maybe only 6 students in it in the honors course.
I don't know. It was hard for me to keep quick track because I kept spinning around.
But yeah, it wasn't a lot. There was not very many honorables.
The most notable, really the only one who has any line
the
of
Hitler Youth
is Philip, who is a nice blonde boy.
Blue eyes.
I don't know if he actually
has.
But he is very good at controlling his fire.
He is. He's very cocky when he does his his audition or whatever, thing, or his test.
Actually, Raina was good too, but then she hears Philip chuckle behind her to be like, "This isn't that hard." And then
when she's popping her popcorn, yeah, and then she burns her corn, and the teacher is not impressed. And she's
says,
"It's the first day jitters," and she's like, "How many first days do you get?"
And it's like, what are the stakes here?
Yeah.
I can assume that, it's about controlling, your magic or whatever, but, what are the applications of this that is really, so life and death? It's I'm not going to ask some fucking fire wielder to make me popcorn. I'll just put it in the microwave. Or,
it would probably
cook it on the stove.
It would probably be quicker, too, than
what
it looks like it would take him to pop a whole bag of popcorn.
Yeah. And then a couple of times we're seeing there's a person looking into a classroom.
Yes, and it's not somebody we've been introduced to before, so we know that it's got to be, or we're maybe led to believe that it's an older student, maybe a second year or third year.
It's one of those things where we just have to guess because it's what is the program at Sage Academy? Is it a 4-year school?
Yeah.
Is it just you show up there 1 year and then you're good to use magic or whatever? So I guess maybe I was stupid to assume it was an upperclassman.
No, I think that you had suggested it, and then I kind of said, okay, yeah, that makes sense. It's we'll see where this goes. But yeah, it's some girl that just kind of looks ominous. I guess I don't know if that's a fair description.
I think they also. She's got like a frowny face.
Did they have like
they maybe play
spooky music or something?
They might have. I don't know.
Yeah, so we're supposed to at least have her in our mind's eye that this is a character we need to watch out for.
The UDM kids, they get a bit of a fake out when Scriff takes them to a supply closet and
he's like, I have something special for you. Yeah, she opens up the supply closet and sees brooms and immediately thinks, I'm going to do some Harry Potter shit and fly. Some hocus pocus.
Which, honestly, she should be better, because if like a whole class of magic users are flyers, then there shouldn't be any way for you to fly if you don't have that power.
It is true.
There doesn't seem to be any establishment of like magical artifacts or anything in this movie. But this was a legitimately funny scene where she takes a broom and she runs and jumps and runs falls.
Yeah, it's like slow motion. It's kind of like building up, like like a hopeful something good's about to happen, and then she jumps and then lands on her face.
And then Elliot says something dumb, and I laugh.
You fell right on your butt.
I think that is pretty close to what it was.
Yeah, but he's always like laughing. He's like, you fell right on your butt. He's like, he's having fun.
So then they get sent around the school to just kind of clean up the grounds to help out Scriff. And Nori comes upon the Fluxers.
They have like an outside class. It's kind of got a cool little set piece, kind of, I don't even know what they're called. But I don't know. It's
gazebo?
Gazebo, yes, thank you. My mind's eye is not working.
She's like, hey, can I see this cat? Cool, now I'm going to turn into it. And then
like
she
the teacher, the teacher's kind of freaking out, like, no, you can't. Why are you out here? Why are you raking the grass? She transforms into an elephant cockatoo cat thing. It's very odd. And then Scriff has to come out and kind of like calm her down and like, everything's gonna be okay. It's okay. Well, the teacher and the class are like freaking out because it's some weird looking goofy monster thing.
It looked very like Dr. Seuss.
Yeah. It was a fun appearance to it.
So it leads to some bonding between the other UDM kids and her, including Andres talking for the first time. He's like, it was pretty cool what you turned into. And they're all like, yeah, that's cool. I'm good at art. Can you draw me using smoke good?
Yes, because so she was kind of like eavesdropping on the class and kind of drawing what the teacher was saying. You need to focus on the paws. So she was drawing the paws of the kitten and the ears. And the kids, her fellow classmates, see her drawings, and she is a really good artist. So like each one of them is asking them to draw them doing their whatever failed magical power they can do.
And Raina is seeing this, and she feels sad because she's struggling in her class, and she sees that Nori's having a great time. But really, she should realize like Nori's got to sleep in like a shack. The UDM kids like. Raina goes up to try to talk to them, and her professor says, like, you can't talk to them because they practice bad magic.
They're pores. Pores.
She should she should be able to see through it, but hey, sometimes you're the center of your own universe when you're a kid. And this is when the mysterious girl enters and introduces herself as Chandra. She seems to be evil.
Yeah.
Because she also appears after a scene where Raina is studying in the library, and she goes to put a book away, and there's a weird magical tie between the book she's putting away and it causing an evil book to pop out.
If she puts it in 5 inches, this evil book pops out 5 inches. She pulls it out, it goes back in, out, and then she just shoves her book in, and the book flies out of the shelf, and then we see her pick it up, and it, it's turning to creepy pages. It says shadow magic on it.
Yeah, it's called like introductory shadow magic.
Yeah, she walks out of the library, and then we see Chandra kind of hiding behind the bookcase. What did she say? Like, in due time or something like,
Yeah, who's she talking to? Me? The viewer?
The viewer.
Of Upside Down Magic?
That's right.
The Disney Channel original movie?
Breaking that fourth wall. She did not look into the camera, though, here.
And I think the book seemed to have teleported at least once. Like, Raina put it back on the shelf, but then it was, like, on her study table as she was walking out. And then it's like, oh. And then Chandra maybe, like, picks it up and says, like, I'll be watching your career with great interest.
Oh, golly.
Because she can't pop corn perfectly.
No, she wants. So she just practices. She has got several totes of Boy Scout branded popcorn tins, where she is just spending all day popping popcorn. That's literally all we ever see the these fire kids do is just popping popcorn.
So she's practicing in her room. I think this is maybe skipping over some stuff that I didn't take notes about.
Yeah, who cares?
And all of a sudden, this evil shadow book, it's in my room again. And now Chandra's
she sits on it. It's underneath her butt.
And she says, Chandra, get out of here. But then Nori's at the door, and then she tells Nori, it's not a good time. Get the fuck out of here. And
she's
Nori's
pissed.
like, oh my God. And then Reina accepts the evil magic from the shadow book. So then she has
her black eyes. Maybe not quite
yet. It just helps her to have really good fire magic.
So she beats the Hitler Youth. That's right.
Yeah, it's like this thing that I don't even think was really set up, but they're like, oh, it's the Sage match. And it just seems to be two kids from each
honors
class.
Yeah, the best honor students taking on one another to crown the number one honors kid.
So Reina's able to
class representatives.
Perfect popcorn
for Founders Day, we should say.
It's not Founders Day.
But they're they're crowning the best of the class to represent the Founders Day people.
Very key.
Yes.
Something else that was very key that we forgot is that at one point, Rain is able to pop the popcorn so that it's not burnt. But then her professor takes a piece,
chips her tooth,
and it's supposed to be
or just taste bad, or
when you have a popcorn kernel that's not fully popped, so there's a little hard part in it still. But the sound effect is like she's broke her tooth eating this popcorn, and she says, "Not quite perfect." But at the Sage match, she's able to cook it all perfectly,
fast
2
and quickly.
seconds.
Yes,
and Philip's like, "The fuck? She's juicing. She's on the magic roids."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. And
it tastes good, and there's no kernels.
It's perfect.
It is perfect.
Side to this, the UDMs had been concocting some scheme where Nori would break into this and prove that she can transform so that they can all go to their normal classes.
Yes, immediately after she, proves herself that she can pop popcorn good, Nori breaks in and then just stop the presses. This is my time.
I'm doing a thing here.
I get a chance to do this, and as long as you don't say no, I'll do it. And then the teacher, Umbridge or whatever, says, don't do it. And then says, I lied. And then she starts forming in. She holds her cat pose for 4 seconds. And then she grows wings and shit goes crazy. She's not her cat dragon anymore. She's like a cat boar looking thing. Everybody's freaking out here. And then her friend has to shoot her with, she was going to do some sparkle magic.
I know her favorite. Sparkle Fireball.
Sparkle Fireball, but she fails because she's too powerful now because she's on roids. And she shoots her down. They explodes her.
But it's not even like she shoots her. She just makes a really big fireball, and people are like, oh, that's a big fireball. And it maybe burns Nori a little bit, but it's not really clear.
See, I don't think she's hurt as much as her ego. Her ego is hurt.
She's like, that wasn't the Sparkle Fireball.
She's very embarrassed. Script Daddy comes in here and he's like, oh, fuck, why are we...
And the headmaster says the UDMs
are banned
from
Founders Day.
Oh, no. I think this is the first time we even heard about Founders Day.
So she just had the worst day of her life, and now her...
Other key thing is that Scriff's job is also in jeopardy.
Yes.
If any UDMs practice magic again,
he'll lose.
Scriff will be fired.
Yes. So she just had her worst day ever, and her classmates don't really... They're all kind of ignoring her because she got their hopes up that they wouldn't feel so...
Yeah. And Nori,
ostracized.
Nori's optimistic. She's like, I always expect the good things are going to happen. But I'm like,
yes.
Bitch, you've had 6 years to know that you're bad at transforming. Why would you think you'd suddenly be good at transforming?
That is true.
And also, all of you other guys, you know that you're all bad at magic in different ways. Why would you think Nori could be suddenly good? Or why would you put this much weight on it?
Yeah. So she's really all depressed and they're all sad. And is this where Script Daddy kind of speaks up and he's like, I'm tired of this shit.
Yeah,
we're gonna get good.
He stops being worried about losing his job and then turns them around quickly to be like, hey,
cheer up.
You want to know why there's no Fuzzy in our group? Because I'm the Fuzzy.
Does some Snow White shit outside and sings to the animals.
Yeah, he reveals that what's upside down about his magic is he can only talk to animals through song, which is I don't know. That's not what bards do, or Snow White doesn't seem that crazy.
It's obviously a voiced over audio, so we don't know if it's really him doing the singing, but it's good. It's good singing, I should say.
And he's forced into this because they're like, what can you teach us? You're just the groundskeeper, and he's like, do you really think I'm nothing? And they're like, but if you were a UDM, why didn't you lose your magic? He's like, well, because I kept using it on the sly. Okay, cool.
So yeah, he's had to put up these EDMs for all these years.
UDMs.
Or UDMs.
If it was EDMs, he would have killed him.
Sorry, I was thinking of the music.
All these LMFAOs, party rocking up in his place, beat dropping left and right.
He does beatbox in this movie. It happens.
As I said, annoying you faster energy.
So he said, I've been watching people like you. I've been watching you eat your UDMs for years, and I have some ideas, how to kind of harness your different powers and, make them so they're useful, I guess, or they can serve a purpose. So they start doing yoga and stuff.
Yeah, he says, we're going to do yoga. You're going to do practices where you imagine your ideal use of your power in your mind's eye, which is not they're not going to ever be able to do what everybody else can do. They can better use what their powers are.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Reina is either going insane, or more likely, Chandra is actually an evil ghost who is trying to get her to fully take on the evil shadow magic. I think actually here is where she pushes Nori away, but who really cares? We get a montage set to that bad Upside Down song again, where I think we're mostly checking in on the Upside Down kids as they're progressing, doing lots of yoga and whatnot.
Yeah, we see them all. The one girl's sweeping up leaves with her powers. The other kid that can fly has a hose wrapped around him, and he's he didn't ascend into space like his mother was afraid of. His eyes didn't bulge over his head.
He's the biggest. I don't actually understand. So he can't ever come down.
No.
Which seems like a pretty big obstacle. That the teacher's like, but you can rise really fast. And then he just randomly stops because he has a hose tied around him, but the hose isn't tied to anything.
No, they let
go. But he
still
can't come down without any help. So
he needs weight.
Yeah.
So they throw him rocks or books or whatever. And then Elliot can. They're gonna.
Bad.
This is where the smoke comes out of his pits because they're trying to smoke out a beehive, and that doesn't work. So then Daddy-O needs to sing and calm the bees away.
Yeah, it's he had been waiting to get rid of this beehive for a
month.
He said a hot
minute.
And it's and then he just uses his powers to
sing them away.
And it's I guess maybe he didn't want anybody.
Find another place to put your hive.
Yep. Maybe he didn't want anybody to catch him using his powers, but it seems like he was just being lazy. And you know what? For that, I can respect him. So Chandra then reveals to Reina that only she can see her, and Reina seems like a crazy person because she's asking if anybody else can see Chandra after she's yelling at her, and basically plays on Reina's feelings about inadequacy and that she should be better than everybody. And then she fully accepts the shadow into herself, and Nori finds her, and her irises are fully black, and
her eyes are spooky.
She looks like somebody taken over by the black oil alien virus in the X-Files.
Yeah.
And then Nori runs to tell the other UDMs, but they're like, well, we're not going to do anything quite yet, because she's going to obviously wait until Founders Day. The biggest day of the year.
They have all the oldies, all the Goldie oldies. Everybody's there. Not their parents, though, because their parents can only visit for Thanksgiving, I think we're told.
I think they just pick them up at Thanksgiving. They're not allowed to go on campus.
True.
But don't worry, the Founders Day is literally the next day, so it's all good. Nori gives a rousing speech to the other UDMs to be like, hey, we got this. We're going to save the day. And then Reina gives a rousing speech to the whole crowd who's there for Founders Day by turning into a big shadow monster lady. Maybe the Scream Team, but I don't even really remember what Scream Team was about.
But so the night before this, though, we see her talking to Chandra, and the flares don't see that she's talking.
Yeah, I covered this.
Okay, I'm just trying to think
Don't worry, Jacob is on his phone.
I'm just reading through the plot and trying to think of stuff that I forgot.
Okay, or you can listen and not double up on stuff.
Just trying to balance. Just trying to balance.
Balance by putting your finger on one side of the scale to be like, let's double up on every point.
Well, I like that part.
So I'll actually repeat again
Okay.
that smoke comes out of Elliot's armpits and fire comes out of Rennigan's asshole or whatever. Okay, so
these are the childish Nickelodeon jokes.
So
Lucas
we get to
loves.
see then basically how ineffectual all these magic users seem to be because, let's try to like use fire against the smoke monster. Oh, it's not working.
It's all worthless.
Let's call the birds. Oh, the birds.
They're scared. They're scared away. Let's do the where we can control where stuff goes. Oh, we just created 4 fucking monsters out of this
Let's use animals. Oh,
You're
all
just
kittens.
worthless. Yeah.
Oh, let's fly. Well, we can't fly.
Because the monster's holding us down with its powers.
So I'm like, well,
they're literally worthless.
Way to shit on accountants as being a dumb job.
And
when
dog
you can't
groomers.
do anything.
And then all of a sudden, here they come. Puff Daddy and the 4 goons come running in, and Professor Umbridge is just like, what the fuck are you guys gonna do?
And Nori says, our upside down magic.
Turn this shit
We're here to turn things right
side up.
Which is where we should have gotten another needle drop, but unfortunately we didn't.
So the mover girl is able to put them back into one monster.
They basically do all the same dumb shit as the other
But it only
people,
takes one of them.
But it works better because
they've harnessed it this whole time.
Their stuff is innately like more powerful than the normal users. It's just that they can't control it as much. But
yes,
it's stupid.
So then now Elliot smokes it out, and it's getting so disoriented. It's so confused.
Mostly what it comes down
then
to.
the flyer boy flies around and gets it all twisted. Lucas, it's gonna trip.
And then Nori transforms and flies around it also.
And it gets it more twisted. It's so confused.
But mostly it gets dizzy. So it's twisted and dizzy, and it falls over. And then Nori's trying to, like, talk to Reyna,
then
snap out of it.
Yeah, they all just they're going to attack it and kill it. But then her and her cat dragon form kind of stops everybody, and they're like, what is she doing? Why isn't she letting us eliminate it? And she's like, because that's her best friend.
And then we see, by God, is that a sparkle fireball?
Oh, shit, that's my favorite.
So we know that Reyna is still in there.
Yes, because she's talking to her, and like we kind of...
And Nora's like, hey, everybody, a sparkle fireball. I love the sparkle fireball. And...
Because we see moments where we think that she's going to, like, hit her, but it's like, no, people are like, oh, no, she's going to hit. And then it's like, oh, everything's fine. Sparkle fireball explodes, and the demon goes away, and she's laying there on the ground. She's dead. She's fine.
They reunite, and they're immediately like,
it's fine.
My life fucking sucks right now. And they're like, it's okay, my life fucking sucks too, but we're going to get better together.
Our life will suck together.
And then we get another final wrap-up montage, very like, end of a Animal House kind of thing, where we check in with all the characters. Everybody's reunited or assimilated into their normal houses.
Yeah, so the houses, remember, they used to be at the Great Dining Hall. Everybody used to be separated, but now they can eat together whenever they want. They can...
Which was, like, the least restrictive. They had to sleep in, like, a shack, but they could still eat in the dining hall. They just had to sit at a different table. Like, hey, separate but equal, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, everything's wrapped up good.
But, yeah, more importantly, like, Scriff is a teacher for the
Yes,
the
he gets to teach his own course now.
Everybody, it's like, oh, we'll request weird combinations of animals for Nori to transform into.
Yes.
We'll like it now.
Elliot is able to make funny smiley faces now in the Flair's room.
I think Reyna... Oh, yeah, she makes a smiley face. She makes 2 eyes out of fire.
And he does this
and he makes a smile.
The flyer boy just wins in races now. They race around and he's just faster.
And I'm like, but he can't get down.
What did the mover pusher girl do? I can't remember what she does.
She starts pushing drugs.
Yeah. Everybody's happy.
Yeah. No, with the pusher, it's even... All of, like, the flickers uses, it's like, oh, I grabbed a pear that was, like, 2 inches away from me. She busts out little chiclets.
Oh, that's right, the gum.
And shoots them into everybody's mouths.
She
and
passes
it's like,
the gum
that
around.
Saved me, like, slightly getting out of my chair to grab it.
Oh, yeah. It's
magic.
The powers are so worthless.
Of course, the message of the movie's ending, and here we're getting some narration from Nori again.
Everybody's fucking weird. We all have weird shit. Yeah, we're okay. Just be you. Be who you are, and you'll find your...
Unless you use shadow magic, in which case,
fuck you. Yes, because we do kind of see like a kind of a cliffhanger. Like the movie ends, but then it comes right back, like an immediate post-credit scene.
See, I only know if it's going to be a sequel teaser if somebody shows up and winks at the camera and says, "Did you really think that was all?"
There was a wink.
No. Well, not.
The cat dragon winked into the camera. Yeah. And then, yes, the post-credit, pre-credit scene.
The spooky book, which
falls out of the library again.
My question was like, this book shouldn't be in the library, but I thought it was more like Chandra was just manifesting it, and it wasn't like something in regular circulation. But maybe it's just a book in the library that anybody can look at any time.
I guess.
But it falls out of the shelf.
And it flips the pages and it
starts to glow. So I don't think there'll be another Upside Down Magic.
No, but it certainly left it open for another one.
It's one, especially because I think there was multiple books where you could see it. It's another one where it's like, could this have been like the setup for a series? Yeah. Maybe. But it wasn't.
I don't know what they would have done in the other ones.
But did this Upside Down Magic turn my frown upside down? Sometimes, but not enough.
Elliot was enough for you to smirk, smile?
Nothing's enough. I'm not doing all right.
No, I liked the magic aspect of this film. I think they all looked pretty good for the most part.
Yeah, I didn't really highlight it. I forgot in some of my notes. But the transformations start to look a lot better.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the early ones, we just cut away and then we cut back to her and then she's transformed into whatever.
But we see her kind of go from cat to human and stuff. It is. Like I think it
changes,
was.
She grows whiskers,
really
gets some fur on her arms progressively and stuff like that. And that does look better.
I think the messaging of the movie was...
Best yet.
Yeah, best yet. I think that the message of the movie was something I could get behind. We're all freaks, but we can find our...
No, Jacob explicitly says, like, no, put them back in the hole at the end. I don't want these UMDs.
See, I am kind of sad, though, that
UDMs.
They didn't get to keep working with Script Daddy.
UMDs were what gets put into
Women?
PSP.
Oh.
That was the game discs on PSP.
Oh, UDMs.
UMDs.
UDMs
is the proper term. Not EDMs or UMDs, it's UDMs. Yeah, I mean...
Good message, it was, good effects.
We talked about it in the last one.
Better than average movie.
It was kind of nice just to have a movie without any, like, baggage.
Not a sequel or trilogy.
Set up for a franchise or a remake. It just...
Yeah, it was a good one-off.
It's just Upside Down Magic.
And it wasn't a musical. And Lucas still enjoyed it.
I mean, I don't love all the musicals. And there was singing in this.
Kind of.
There was sometimes more singing than I think should have been in there.
That was his thing, man.
Stop.
Script Daddy.
Get some help. All right, so that was Upside Down Magic. It's not going to turn my list upside down.
Sad.
It'll be somewhere in there.
It's in your top 50, though, or your top 50%. Top 60, then, I guess.
We'll see. I don't know.
I don't know how you could rate this below average movie. I don't know.
It's not rating below average. It's just that
I
have to set up all of the movies.
Is this a 2.5 star for you or a 3?
Definitely not a 3.
No.
At best, a 2.5 star.
Yeah. And that's okay. I think that it deserves... It's an average, little above average movie.
We'll forego. You know the email address. You know you don't want to write to us. And we'll just get to the part that I know everybody loves the most. My brother actually told me he loves everything that's not us talking about the movie. And I'm like, well, that's most of the episode. And I don't know what we would do if we weren't doing that.
That's true.
But I assume his favorite... I actually did. I'm like, hey, do you like Never Remember? And he says, I love all the parts except for the premise of your podcast. So Never Remember, our segment where we never forget 9/11 and discuss whether our main characters could have stopped the Al-Qaeda Taliban terrorists on 9/11.
Maybe. Elliot might have caused smoke, and then they couldn't have seen and crashed into the field, but they're still dead.
Even towards the end of the movie, when they have better control of their powers, I think their powers would still be chaotic enough that possibly the plane wouldn't crash into the World Trade Center.
But they would still crash.
It'd probably crash in somewhere.
That's right. And that's kind of what like the monster, if she just turns into a kitten boar thing, it's going to explode
I can't
the plane.
Really, I'm trying to,
The flyer guy's going to put a hole in the ceiling.
Think about, I guess he can maybe save like 2 people.
But then they wouldn't get down.
Well, maybe he takes 2 terrorists.
What happens if he gets flying and, he's already in the air?
Well, and if you open up like an airplane, that's
everything gets sucked out.
At least that's what happens in the movies.
That's true. Yeah. What's his name's not going to be able to sing to the terrorists?
know.
Script Daddy. People
I'm like, well,
people
maybe
are still
somebody's got
dying.
like a dog and a carrying case, but I'm like, I don't think there's any combination.
The towers might be safe, but the people
Actually,
on the
at
planes
best,
aren't.
Maybe Elliot, can provide some smoke cover,
Yeah.
but that still could lead to some bad circumstances.
Something's happening. Something's happening. They're dying.
Sorry, Upside Down Magic. You're not writing the course of those planes.
No.
Moving on to our other mostly regular segment now. Though this is getting towards the end of our stocked up supply of Sody Pops, and that is a whole new pop, where this time
it comes in a bottle.
Another Coca-Cola product, Sprite Limonade Legacy, celebrating, as it says, 50 years of hip-hop. And that's something that I always was like, why is Sprite, like...
associated to hip-hop and music?
Yeah, or like, I don't want to just be like, no offense, but like black people being like, my fridge, I drank Sprite, and now it's a portal to Wakanda. And I'm like, what is the connection here? And apparently,
hip-hop.
Going back to like the mid-'80s, there was like a prominent Sprite commercial that featured some early hip-hop artists.
That's cool.
And
have you seen it?
They continued, they would have, I didn't click and watch it, but I think other promotions have been with Criss Cross, Tribe Called Quest, and obviously, like, more recently, modern
Tupac.
rappers. I don't know if it hadn't seen the commercials or they hadn't done any for a while, but I'm just like, why is Sprite trying to be like this cool hip thing? But I guess,
it always has been.
They put in the time and they're not like fronting it or anything.
No. Well, that's cool. Good on you, Sprite.
So Sprite, of
Lemonade.
Course, lemon, lime, strawberry, and lemonade.
Wow.
So I was like, well, if this is just limonade, I mean, isn't that kind of just going to be what Sprite is?
Well, I didn't know it going to have the strawberry.
So I wonder how carbonated this
I think it's going to taste good.
I like Sprite. It's something where, like...
it's going to be a goodie.
My mom makes punch for Christmas and then, like, doesn't use up all of the Sprite. And I'm like, hey, I'll fuck with some Sprite. And I'm like, hey, Sprite's pretty good. Or, like, when you're sick, of course, you got to have some Sprite. Shit, I should just drink this all the time. But then I don't.
It's really fizzling. It's really...
and I'm definitely smelling the strawberry.
Yeah, it smells good. It looks it's clear,
I mean, it's Sprite. Sprite is clear. Though this has a little more...
looks good.
Looks like a light lemonade more than just like a normal Sprite. So,
cheers.
Yeah, tastes like a strawberry lemonade kind of thing.
I dig it.
I'm going to start busting out a flow right now.
You're going to start rapping?
Jake, throw me down a track. I'm Lucas Melby, and I'm here to say, kill me, please. I don't want to watch more movies.
Oh, golly. Yeah, no, it's good. I think we both approve of it. It's good.
When I drank more of that Coca-Cola, when you said it was supposed to taste like bubblegum, it did taste like bubblegum.
Wow.
So,
You did.
Who
you
knows?
did taste it, yeah.
It incepted into me, the plus XP.
Yeah.
But you can plus... I won't say what I was going to say. But you can plus our podcast rating if you find us on Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, anywhere you find us. Follow us, subscribe to us, rate us, review us if you can. You can also find us on youtube.com/awholenewpod, where we received a few different comments recently.
Wow, a couple, huh?
Jacob read one off before.
I didn't know about it.
We got one from Brian Jacobs who said, "Hey, jerk off 19." Which we probably discussed it on the show, but maybe not for a while, that Jacob, at a time, had the moniker Jerker19. Don't ask him how he got that name.
Oh, no.
And this guy, it's like, well, I think the joke's kind of just already in the name. You don't need to be like, hey, Jerker. More like jerk off. And I'm like, okay.
Who knows? Yeah, probably somebody I know from Xbox.
I meant it as a soda jerker.
Yeah.
We also got a comment on Dad Napped.
Oh.
This was a pretty crazy one.
Oh.
The person said, my fave movie of all time, Wheeze is my favorite character.
Which one was that? Which was Wheeze?
I believe he was the brother of Selena Gomez in Wizards of Waverly Place.
Okay,
in that movie, he's Wheeze. I would not say Dad Napped is a particularly good movie, and I don't remember anything
favorite.
about Wheeze. And then we also had our frequent commenter, Ashley Flynn's Law. She checked back in with us with a number of comments. As I won't go into the full details of them, but one was on the swap where I don't remember exactly what we were talking about, but we must have discussed a couple of the ship pairings, including one that I think we maybe called Jelly, or that is the term for it. Yeah. And she said that we came out on the proper side of the ship discussion. So,
wow. Love that for us.
We always want to be on the cutting edge of shipping.
Yes.
So thanks for all those comments.
Thank you.
Keep them coming.
X.
Yes, I forgot last time to plug Twitter, which is maybe fair. It's maybe best to just forget about Twitter.
It became X.
Nobody's going to call it X.
X, formerly known as Twitter.
It only gets worse and worse. They made the update look even dumber than it did before. The videos don't seem to work. Hardly worked on normal Twitter. They're changing stuff with how headlines work. They're maybe deleting tweets from pre-2014 or something.
But that doesn't stop our best friend Dustin Levac from updating us every other week.
At AWNPod, at x.com/AWNPod. Definitely seems like a trustworthy URL. And follow us on there for some fun little tweets. And
it's hot in here. I'm kind of sweating.
When I'm recording, we got very high-tech setup where we've got TV trays that have our microphones on them. So I'm crouched down low, and my legs stay crouched the whole time. And a few minutes ago,
swamp ass.
I felt little rivulets of sweat going down my legs from my leg pits. So I don't think there's a better way to end the show than that, than talking about leg pits. My sweaty leg pits.
Bobby Oppenheimer, is that you? Get your country ass over here. My mama told me you're making a bomb as big as a damn bus. How about instead of making a bomb, you make yourself some damn dinner, you string bean? Atom bomb, huh? Just like the original man himself from the book of Genesis. You met President Roosevelt, huh? You tell me, how does he get his bottom half to look like a little bicycle like that? Was he born that way, like a centaur? You call it an atomic bomb, even though its energy comes from a fission reaction. That seems to be something of a misnomer, correct? As it gets all of its energy from the nucleus of the atom, making it more of a fusion weapon? You're gonna do what with it? Bobby, does your mama know about that? If I know Anne-Marie Oppenheimer, she's gonna paint your back porch red. Boy, she's gonna tan your hide. I'm gonna make you eat a big old plate of grits.